Welcome to the Weiss Schwarz market update for August 15th, 2021. This is where I talk about any news from the Bushiroad Global Online Store, just talk about market prices and future releases. So, if you saw the clips at the beginning, I'm adding that now just because I want people to know what I'm actually going to talk about. So, if this video is for you, feel free to continue watching. If not, thanks for stopping by. But first thing I want to go through is the Bushiroad Global Online Store. If you haven't followed them on Twitter or Facebook, feel free to do. If you like merchandise outside of Weiss, they do offer Weiss products. But if you like other items like Love Live, Bang Dream, D4DJ, Cardfight, Vanguard, you should definitely be following them as they do put up new items for that. And also, if you haven't done so, they have this Bushiroad Global Online Store survey. Feel free to fill it out. It is still actually open. There's a few things that came out this week, and first thing being is this PR card. So you received this PR card for the happy 13th anniversary. It is in Japanese. I was hoping that they'd make one for English. I know that wasn't the whole purpose, but in the end, I still would like an English version of this card versus the JP version. So for $20 purchase from the Weiss Schwarz Summer Fair, you will get this PR card while supplies last. And the main thing to note from this, it doesn't actually word it this way. There was this campaign that they did for Rosalia 2 Song I Am, the episode 2. And as you can see here, there were 5 PR cards and 5 illustration cards. And the main point with this is you got it for every $20 of purchase. They would select one randomly. So there's 10 here. You would hope that you would pay $200 and get all 10, but that's not guaranteed, I don't believe. You would think they would pick it that way just to make it more friendly, but who knows how that actually went down. And again, the most important part said every $20. When you take a look at this PR card, it doesn't say that for every $20 that you're going to get it. It just says with $20 of purchase, you're going to get one. So I think that needs to be clarified whether you're going to get. So if I spend $80, am I going to get 4 of these things or just one? I don't know for sure, and I'm not going to ask. So let's take a look here. Anyways, what is under the Weiss Schwarz Summer Fair? You got your English trial decks if you wanted these. For me personally, I probably wouldn't pick one up. I have some of these trial decks already. I wish there were different ones. Like if you popped a Fujimi or you popped a what's another good one? Goblin Slayer, Slime, something like that. That would be pretty awesome. But to me, that seems like unlikely since those probably did well or sold out. These are probably leftovers. I'm gonna just assume. And then we also have Japanese trial decks of Bang Dream, Review, Starlight, and you also got a bunch of really cool sleeves. So as you see here, me personally, I was looking to get the Raz ones. Actually, I like them all. Like honestly, I would just buy them all. And they also have play mats here. Deck boxes, play mats. It's really actually cool. So if you have any liking towards any of this stuff, I would suggest picking up, especially since we're getting Raz, Morphonica, Poppin' Party, and Rosalia coming up. That is not yet scheduled for us in English, as in like when that's coming out, but those sets are coming out. So it'd be nice to actually stock up on that. And let me just see real quick. Because normally these have, yep, deadlines. Your pre-order deadline is August 26th. So if you have any intention of buying this, you have 11 days left to do so. Okay, the next thing on here is they have a follow and retweet campaign for your chance to win this playmat, which is pretty freaking awesome when you think about it. Three winners will receive this. And I thought I remember when this first came out, someone was trying to buy it on Facebook. So definitely worth following them, retweeting them just for a chance to win this playmat. talking about the release schedule, we have this release schedule again. And I just wanted to revisit this again just because we know Heaven's Feel is coming out, Slime SAO, and the last quarter of the year, anyways, is going to be iffy. We don't know what's going to happen here. Obviously, I think Quince is going to be moved. Data Bullet got set for December. Who knows what's actually going to happen? And this is my PSA to all of you again. I would not pre-order from me personally from anyone at this point. Again, I did a video on it how you can get scammed. If you buy from the wrong person, they could easily just run away with your money and you are completely helpless to do anything about it. Okay, so again, that's just a warning for people that are, I guess, untrustworthy or not proven. There are stores out there, obviously, that have been in this community, in the business for a really long time that most likely you can trust, but I think it's getting a little out of hand that you're potentially one of these sets right here is going to come out in March, April, and if you get scammed, if that person runs away with your money, you're not going to be able to charge that back. And that's the issue we're eventually going to run into, I believe. I don't think that people really have had this experience. And there's so many people coming into this game trying to just make money that you need to be very cautious about who you buy from again. Like I said, just want to reiterate one more time that this is not every store. There are definitely some trustworthy stores out there. Just make sure to buy from someone reputable. Okay, if you're going to pre-order today, August 15th, for something that may come out in April. Right, that's a long time to be giving your money away in full. All right, let's talk about Heaven's Feel 2 now. As we know, Heaven's Feel 2 is coming out on August 20th, 2021. And this is Volume 2 of the well-received set based off the movie trilogy. It was in bold, I had to read that. And basically, we know when these come out, the sign cards have been affected. In place of the handwritten quotes, character names, and voice actor signatures, there will be design quotes, character names, and design elements unique to this title. So as we saw with Kaguya, as we saw with Magia Record, this is no different. And we've been seeing the SP cards without the sign on them actually hold up in price. Some have not done so well, so this is going to be interesting. And I kind of wonder which one. I actually don't wonder. I know right away. There's an easy way to tell which of these cards are going to do really well and which are not going to do really well. But overall, like let's just ignore the stamps on here, right? If you just look at the card itself, you got blood coming off of them. Look at that blood. Anyways, if you just look at the card itself, I know it's hard to do. Just cover it if you can. There's a lot of nice looking cards here, right? Look at them. So it'll be interesting to see how this does. I think obviously this has been overbought for people just trying to find sign cards. I saw playsets already below 300, so that should give you quite a foreshadowing about what is going to happen. With that said, we're going to talk about the double rare tracker, and it's going to start out with our lovely 7 deadly sins. This has been quite a roller coaster ride, right? As in, the roller coaster just started at the very top and you're just free falling on down. And that's what it's been doing. A lot of that has been due to the supply. People, like I said, I warned everybody. I said, do not buy this if you are looking to short-term flip it. I've heard too many people say, I'm buying a gazillion cases, I'm going all in. That was your warning sign that you need to step back and be like, this is a little nuts. There's a lot of people in. And as we've seen, as I've talked about, playsets have just crashed. Double rares have just crashed. The world is ending. It's not really ending, but it is hurting some people. And again, that's unfortunate. I don't ever want to see anybody losing money. I don't want people to lose their business. But this is what happens when people get a bit greedy. People think that Weiss is just free money, that all you got to do is just open boxes, get the sign cards, sell play sets, and then rake in the profit. And that's not how this is going, because there's that fine balance of players and collectors. And once supply overtakes that, if there's not enough people to buy it, you're just going to have a lot of people looking to find the exit gates, get what they can out of it, what profit they can, and dump the rest. So that is literally, in a nutshell, what is happening here. Okay, so as you can see here, I don't normally talk about this stuff, but you can see right here the 7 Deadly Sins booster box cases. There are 8 of them. They have trial decks. I haven't seen this many trial deck displays in a long, like ever. Actually, I was gonna say long time, but I'm gonna say ever on TCGPlayer. You got 16, and they're going for $100. You got 32 sellers over here at $62. You have supply sets. They've actually been moving pretty well, but even then, I think this is the normal price that you can find them around 30 to 34. And you got trial decks all over the place. You got 23 here at 16.89. So you just have cards all over the freaking place. All these sealed product, just people trying to sell out. And as we saw, the double rares have taken a hit because of it. I don't know if anybody's figured out what I was talking about. There was a card that was mispriced. I don't talk about that now because it doesn't even matter. This card right here, Meliodas to the Rescue, to me this was a major mispricing. I believe this card should have been a bit higher than where it was. And if you actually take a look at it, I was actually right on this, because this card is going to be used in the majority of 7 Deadly Sins sets. If you're going to play 7 Deadly Sins, most likely at some point during that journey you will be using this card, because it is a climax combo with full counter. So it's a really awesome card. I know people were saying about using the King finisher, and there's Bond as well. But what I would be using for my deck would be Meliodas to the Rescue. As you can see, just take a look at the listings: 37, 34, 32, 33, 36, 27, 39, 36, 39, 40. This is I guess, less available card seller wise, but at the same time, it's one of the lower cards, right? Take a look. Meliodas to the Rescue. So there he is, 377. These prices are with shipping. So somehow this card that would be used in the majority of decks is not, it has the less amount, is actually somehow towards the middle. So to me that's a little odd, especially since I've looked over double rares over time, right? That number doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So this is a total misprice. Again, it doesn't matter because there's a million supply. If you even attempt to buy this, there's 127 here, 9 to 127, 5, 12. So there's tons of supply. You're never going to be able to buy it all out. Okay. And if you didn't notice, the nice part about TCGPlayer now is they have added this quantity. Before it just said there was a sale, right? They didn't actually list the quantity. Now you actually have a quantity. Okay, so that really, with 7 Deadly Sins, the price is just plummeted. The double rare play set is $151.42. I did go over play sets, so I did not change any of these numbers here. Rare, common, uncommon, climax, rare, climax, common, or promos. At this point, they should obviously be lower than where they are today. But because I got a lot of things to do, I didn't actually go through that. And again, that's just me being generous as well, because these numbers reflect not so many good things. So if you just want to buy a playset of double rares and rares, that is $178. Actually, let's just say $179. That does not include tax. Again, it has shipping for the double rares up there. A lot of stores when you buy from them, if you buy over $5, they will give shipping for free. So again, this number would potentially be lower actually if you were just getting all this, the promos, all of these cards over here, just straight off TCGPlayer, $250. So again, my point to everybody out there was saying that these play sets at 300, at 250 is too high or too low, too low at 250. You're wrong, just because you could just see it right here. Again, would I buy a play set? No, I would. I've said it before. For the most part, I am not going to buy a playset. What I would actually do is wait 2, 3, 4 weeks and just buy the singles that I would want. If I was trying to like complete a binder, maybe I just buy some of the singles to like fill out the other ones, but I would have a playable deck. You know, again, for me personally, I would not go the route of buying all of these cards because I'm never going to use them. There's no point to that. When we look at the sign cards, kind of interesting as well. They plummeted a great deal. There's a bunch of supply on them. And let's take a look here. So DN is dropped a bit. She was 350, now 300. So you can see people just straight up undercutting each other at this point because they're just trying to dump this. I can't believe Bond actually went this low. 115. I would have, not to say I would never guess. I thought people were thinking he was a little bit more popular because you have Bond versus King. Seems to be like the big battle. Actual sign card versus not sign card, and 10 versus 7. So I would have thought, like looking at these numbers and all that, but again, no, lack of sign. Maybe that's why, or it's just people actually trying to undercut each other. But you could see everything's gone down. The only thing that's actually held up pretty well has been the TDSP. But again, if you're looking for TDs, there's people that have it. Speaking of tournaments, the 7 Deadly Sins tournament is coming up. Registration period ends on August 23rd. You get sent to this form. Again, this is an online tournament. I thought it was a little weird that you'd be winning a booster box and playmat for the 7 Deadly Sins, but if it's the theme, right? It's weird because you're using those cards to play with and winning prizes of those cards. So it probably won't do you any good. At the same time, maybe it's one of those things you keep as a souvenir. It's like, hey, I won. You put it in a plastic container and be like, I won. This is my prize from winning the tournament. Who knows? It's all in good fun, right? I mean, you have the cards anyways. You might as well play it. If you win a tournament, great. If you don't, at least you had a good time. So again, you just want to fill this form out by August 23rd. Also, there are shop tournaments coming up. August, we have this Sakura. And then we also have future ones coming up for 7 Deadly Sins and then also Slime 2. So feel free to go out there, look up your store. If you are a store, you can always contact them about organized play program. I don't have one. And again, it would be nice if somehow these PR cards end up over in here, just for people like me that don't want to drive 2 hours away. I know some people told me 2 hours away isn't that far. To me, I just don't like driving 2 hours. So it would be nice if those PR cards do end up on that store for people like me. You don't have to sell a winner card, just sell me one of these, right? That would be very nice. I would appreciate it. Next, what we got? We got Kaguya. Kaguya is just doing Kaguya at this point. It's basically dropping. It's hilarious because someone actually tried to buy this sucker. I don't know if they tried to buy it out. This is just me guessing. But let's just take a look here. Double rare. Someone on August 1st. This is before they made that change to add the quantity. It was right here. August 1st. Someone bought 16 of these things. And to me, again, I'm like, I'm not sure if they were buying 16 for, I guess, 4 decks for their friends. They want to combine shipping. Who really knows? But they did it on a few of these cards. And since then, it's gone down. Right? So it was a nice thought if they were trying to buy it out. So you have people buying 7. Here was 10 on that on August the 1st. And Chica, though, Chica actually did get elevated. Chica was lower than this. Here we go. Let's take a look. Chica was down in the eights at some point, eight, nines, and then someone came along, bought 10, bought another 6 on August 1st. So again, this is pretty nice to actually have this quantity listed here now, because you could see that some people are attempting to do. So just watch out for that. I am starting to see some of the more of the needed useful cards actually go down. So if you do need Kaguya, not a bad time to pick it up. And if we want to look here, booster box prices actually been going up. The supply of them have been steadily dropping. I don't know if this is just somebody wanting 1 box, 2 box, or just slowly buying them down. But you could see it's right here. You could see 8.4, 8.6, 8.9. There was a period here where people were not buying it, right? And then now you have this steady, like just someone picking them off slowly. And again, this could be multiple people or one person, but whatever is happening here, it is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So slowly being bought. And again, if you wanted to have a Kaguya box, I'm not saying this is the right time or whatever. I'm just pointing out the fact that these things are being slowly bought out. Okay? With trial decks, you don't have to worry about that as much. They will eventually sell out. We're down to 15 listings. Obviously, there's people out there that have these things. The trial decks, the booster boxes, they still got them. So it's not like you're in danger of running out. But like I said, it seems like there has been, on the booster boxes, a steady buyout where, trial decks is a little bit slower. Okay, so when we take a look at the double rares on this one, you can see what's been happening. It is a slow kind of buyout, and then dropping, because as people see that, they are lowering their prices down. So overall, 52% drop overall. And do I think that's going to stop soon? I feel like it will, just because, again, like I said, there are only so many of those double rares out there, and it seems like someone's actually looking to buy them. Now we got Bofuri. Bofuri is pretty interesting. And if you remember that clip from the opening, the reason why it's interesting is because of this. Remember what I said about Kaguya, about that slow buyout? Same thing happened with Bofuri. So if you want to take a quick look with me here, what's been happening with Bofuri was the supply wasn't huge. People ignored this set. I, for one, bought it because I knew I loved the anime, and I knew people weren't really looking at it for whatever reason. I don't understand why. Maybe because it wasn't as strong, but whatever the case, as you could see here, there was some supply sitting there in the 90s for basically a couple weeks, actually. You just had this all through the month of July. And then slowly but surely, someone was buying them up over time. Again, could be one person, could be multiple people, but basically what ended up happening was it went from like 6 sellers down to 4, 3, 2. And now we're at one person at of course, the joke number, 269.69. Obviously, if you have one for sale, you might want to put it on TCGPlayer. You'll probably sell it if you don't put it at $269. It's a pretty good. And when you think about when Bofuri came out on May 21st. So depending on how much you bought this thing, you're going to make a decent amount of money off of this. The boosters are worth a lot. At this point, is it even worth opening it for the sign cards inside, like hoping that there's a sign card inside? Let's take a look. The sign cards actually held up pretty nicely when you take a look here. Overall, there's some that aren't so great, like Frederica or Saint Misery. This thing is so low. Holy crap. I did not look at these numbers beforehand, but Young Genius Kanade, that is super low. And again, when you take a look at this isn't actually signed in the way that we always know it. You see Kasumi here, you see me over here, but Kanade, no. And it's actually surprising me just because this is a more useful card. Like you'll be able to see these in decks. So max rarity deck, and look at that. There's 7 listings of it. So you could see where there's some that are just not available, and then some that are really not available, like the TD ones. Which again, that surprises me. When you think about trial decks and signed cards, you would think the trial decks would be bought out because again, these two right here are from the trial decks, and they go for a decent price, 400, 500. So when you think about it, that's a pretty good amount of money that you would get back if you get the signed card. But then you have that other side of like, what do I do with all these open trial decks? Okay, but overall, would I open a booster box at this point? Probably not. Just because, again, if you realistically could sell that Bofuri box at, let's just say 200, it's easy to sell a box at 200 than try to open it, hope you get a signed card. If you don't, then now you got all these cards that are worth overall double rares for 72. So if I would have a box and you're looking, if you're a person in the short term looking at this stuff, would you sell it? Maybe you do at this point. Again, if you're thinking long term, I would just ignore this completely. Again, there's got to be other people that have this that would probably sell, but at the same time, Bofuri is a good hold. Again, I think that there will be a set 2 that comes out, so not so bad. If you are in the market for Bofuri double rare cards, you might want to start doing it soon. So again, even though overall the average drop from week to week, you have to look at the card that actually made that drop. So here are the cards that, right, like that caused the drop. But then you have Loving Sacrifice Maple, which is definitely useful. Machine God Maple, is very useful. And then you have Multicolored Sally, which you're going to need. This thing is going up in price. And if you go back to take a look at this, where my double rare is at. There she is. There's only 4 left. Again, I know more people can put it up, but right now 4 listings, and of those 4 listings, you only have 7 cards. All right, so how many do you need for a deck, and how many are left for sale? I know there's other websites out there that have these singles, so check them out, but at the same time, the supply on these cards are getting very, very low. And at the same time, as I said, if you wanted to open a box, there aren't any left. Okay, so this is probably like your last warning call. If you want Bofuri, you might want to do it soon. Lastly, let's take a look at Data Live. Data Live is one sad story. Like when you think about value, when you think about actual player wise, it's pretty awesome. From where when I started tracking this, Karumi was at $41.73. As of this just past week, $12.29. From that period of time, because of the reprint, 71% drop. Overall, 76% drop. Kotori somehow actually is only 33% down, which is kind of nuts. I did not realize this when I made the sheet, so that's kind of nuts. Everything else is dropped 60% or more. Poor Yoshino. But anyways, there we are. So Data Live, the supply is still out there. You have 5 cases. You got some trial deck displays. You got some trial decks, which I've been saying over and over again, that if you need a trial deck or you need the card inside of it, be sure to pick it up because obviously this didn't get reprinted. And if you were looking for it, there's not going to be like tons more supply out there. People do have it, right? Again, there's people that have this in storage. Again, I have some myself. I didn't put anything up for sale, but I do have some. So people do have it, but as this keeps getting bought out and bought out, there's only going to be so many left. And they're just getting more and more expensive. Okay, so Same with booster boxes. If you haven't noticed with booster boxes, the amount of listings have dropped, which is kind of interesting. So let's just take a look here. You take a look at the sales history. This thing has been bought every day. And not just like one or two, right? Some people bought three, so there was a five. So there are people buying this thing daily, and you need to watch out for it because, again, if you are a person that is looking to store this for a collection, there are supplies out there. There's stores that still have this. If you're just looking at TCGPlayer, these are getting pretty low price wise. So let's just do the math again for all you people out there that want to do some math. Because before it was like $63. Now this thing is $59.99 times 0.87. Again, subtracting out the TCGPlayer fee. $52.19. I know there's $5 of shipping. So, but realistically, $52.19. So these sellers, depending on who these sellers are, they're really taking a hit here, depending on where they bought the boxes. If they bought it at 50, they're not really making any money. Maybe they're just trying to dump it. Maybe they got their SEC Karumi right here. This thing is doubled, like in the amount of listings. Before the reprint, it was 5 on TCGPlayer. Now there's 11, and they don't really sell. So there's a lot of auctions that have been cropping up on Facebook, but they're not really selling. So we'll see how this latest one comes out. I think the bid was in the 650, 651 maybe at this point. Overall, Double Rares looks real ugly. If you thought 7 Deadly Sins looked ugly, Data Live looks worse. But when you consider the fact that Data Live got a reprint and how strong it is versus 7 Deadly Sins is after 1 week, jeez, man. Like the 7 Deadly Sins is just terrible. That just proves again how many people bought this thing and how there is a lack of players and collectors. That is it for the market update. Hope you all have a nice one.